It appears that after weeks of pressure, the president of Blizzard Entertainment Studio is stepping down. So this follows a week after workers had staged a walkout over the allegations of harassment and discrimination, and the company's pretty terrible response to it. According to the New York Times, Activision Blizzard has been under intense pressure over the last couple of weeks following a lawsuit filed on July 20th, in which California had accused the company of fostering a frat boy workplace culture, in which men, of course, joked about things like sexual assault, and that women were routinely harassed and paid less than their male colleagues. I remember, of course, talking about the cubicle crawl, where men would just get absolutely drunk and, delegate, of course, their jobs to the female employees while they go and crawl around cubicle to cubicle saying terrible things to their female colleagues. Disastrous. So now, the departing executive, J. Allen Brack, according to the Times, will be replaced by two Blizzard executives, Jen Oneal and Mike Ybarra, who will both be co-leaders of the studio, the company said in a statement. Now, again, this only applies to the Blizzard Entertainment Studio. The current CEO of Activision Blizzard is still there. I'm going to get to him in a minute. Ms. Oneal, to give you some context here, started at Blizzard in January as Executive Vice President of Development. Mr. Ybarra joined in 2019 as the Executive Vice President and General Manager of Platform and Technology. Activision apologized last week for its reaction to the outcry from its workers, calling its initial response tone deaf. Quote, "It is imperative that we acknowledge all perspectives and experiences and respect the feelings of those who have been mistreated in any way," the Activision Blizzard chief executive, Bobby Kotick, said in a statement on July 27th. "I'm sorry that we did not provide the right empathy and understanding." So now, here's the thing about J. Allen Brack. There's no way that he wasn't pressured to step down. Why? Well, I can point to one thing. Blizzard's stock price. Activision Blizzard shares fell more than 7% in the Tuesday following the lawsuit. But to be fair, of course, it's been bad for quite some time. While World of Warcraft, for example, their flagship game, is actually losing a lot of subscriptions. A lot of players are very angry with the company as a result of some of the lackluster expansions, Battle for Azeroth and, of course, Shadowlands. Those expansions not received very well. And, of course, they completely messed up the entire storyline of World of Warcraft. Nobody knows what's happening now. Nobody. You also had the famous Diablo Immortal fiasco back in 2018 when their stock really started to fall. You remember that, right? Do you guys not have phones? Any gamers remember? And so, again, since that year, since 2018, Activision Blizzard has lost 35% of its share price. That is a disaster. Add on to that the disastrous response to the allegations, which again, I remind you, were pretty disgusting. But it gets worse. It turns out back in March, Activision Blizzard had hired a former George W. Bush counterterrorism appointee, Frances F. Townsend, as their head of compliance. So now, she had some words in this lawsuit. She called it truly meritless and irresponsible. She later tweeted about the problem with whistleblowing, a story published in The Atlantic back in July. Townsend had also reportedly began blocking current employees from speaking out against her. So now, you're not going to be surprised who Townsend is. She is actually known to have defended, during her stint in the Bush administration, the torture program, which included waterboarding, sleep deprivation, and forced nudity. And so, oh wow, the problem with whistleblowers. Oh, gee, Frances Townsend being against whistleblowers. Shocker. Really. Shocker. Disaster. In fact, here's what she said about the torture program back in the 2009 interview with CNN. Regardless of what you think of the issue of whether or not waterboarding is torture, there were legal documents created and relied upon by career intelligence officials who then implemented that program. So she is a torture defender. Great. Great hire. getting back to Bobby Kotick here, who made almost $128 million in bonuses over the past 4 years, called Townsend a, quote, highly regarded public servant. So that's current CEO Bobby Kotick. Not only that, we're not done with Blizzard. Kotick also recently retained the services of a prestigious law firm, WilmerHale, which is the same law firm helping Amazon keeping its workers from unionizing. So, sure, Bobby Kotick, you've got a record of hiring both war criminals and union busters. Congratulations. Well done. But yeah, let's put Brack out. Let's just push them out, right? So now here's the thing. Brack deserves to go, of course. A lot of this happened under his watch. I mean, to be fair, he did take over in 2019, but he knew that this was going on. He didn't change the culture. He didn't actually do anything. He was actually mentioned in this lawsuit, which alleges that Brack knew about the behavior because he had received direct complaints and that he did little to stop it beyond disciplinary actions that amounted to about a slap on the wrist. So he did nothing. Nothing. So Brack is gone, likely pressured again, but Kotick still there. And understand that a lot of the people who are still there, a lot of the leadership knew about the harassment and did absolutely nothing. Again, one of the allegations involved leadership having something called a Cosby room where a lot of this happened. And the fact that they have retained WilmerHale is not a good sign that they actually plan to do something meaningful to change the culture. It looks as though they're going to try to crush employee dissent and attempts by employees who may be trying to unionize while saying, oh no, sacrificial lamb, we got rid of this guy. That was a big problem. So understand that's what this is about. Brack is a patsy. He's a fall guy, if you will. So the company can say, look, we solved the problem. We got rid of this guy. Please don't unionize. Everything's under control. Get back to work, and players keep buying our stuff. Well, I, for one, look, I'm a gamer. I would love to buy the Diablo 2 remaster, Diablo 4, but I can't. I can't do that. Not without major changes to the company. It's time we vote with our wallets, okay? The fish rots from the head down, and right now, Activision Blizzard is deeply, deeply rotten. Deeply rotten. Why do you think a lot of the original developers left the company? The entire industry itself, by the way, is deeply toxic, misogynistic, and not at all labor-friendly. In fact, they hate labor, and they love crushing their workers, their employees. Again, you've got Ubisoft, who is the head of Ubisoft, I believe, has also been hit with allegations. Riot Games hit with allegations of the same kind of vein of this frat boy culture. A lot of these, these Silicon Valley companies, gaming companies, have been dealing with the same problems of misogyny, sexism, rampant toxicity, and not just their rooms, but also among the player base as well. And so this is a disaster. And we could go back to talking about BioWare Magic as well, so-called, where they crushed their employees. Now, look, this has to change, not just for the workers, of course, but also for the quality of the games. Look, again, if you're a gamer like myself, you might have noticed the quality of the games being pushed out have been, let's just say, below par. Okay? They haven't been good. They've been bad. Disastrous. And of course, you've got publishers with insane deadlines, again, leading to a lot of crunch. But again, you also have these developers with this toxic culture. It's terrible. You have to have good working conditions. Good working conditions actually, create a happy workforce, and a happy workforce ends up creating better games. better products. You have to change that culture. And of course, you've got to have communication between developers and the audiences as well. But until the games industry fixes a lot of these issues, we should not buy their products. We should not buy their games. We should not, allow them. We should vote with our wallets. Yes, we should not allow them to continue to do these practices now that we know about them.
If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.